Marcus Chen stood at the back of the formation, watching as Fleet Admiral Corvanus selected cadets for the final assault on the Zephyrian Armada. One by one, the best and brightest of the Terran Defense Academy stepped forward, genetically enhanced, soldiers with perfect scores, tacticians bred for warfare, pilots whose reflexes had been honed to superhuman levels. Marcus remained where he was, unremarkable and unnoticed. "Chen," the Admiral's voice cut through the hangar like a plasma blade. "You're with Strike Team 7. The other cadets turned to stare. Strike Team 7 was the last unit, the one assigned to secondary objectives while the real heroes claimed victory. Marcus had expected nothing more. His test scores were average, his physical capabilities merely human, and his tactical assessments consistently rated as unconventional by his instructors. Military speak for wrong. As the teams dispersed to Dizha, their assigned vessels, Captain Rodriguez of Strike Team 7 approached Marcus with barely concealed disappointment. "Listen, kid, just stay in formation and follow orders. We'll handle the real fighting." Marcus nodded, accustomed to such dismissals. He'd heard variations of the same speech throughout his 3 years at the academy. While other cadets underwent genetic enhancement and cybernetic augmentation, Marcus had chosen to remain baseline human, a decision that mystified his peers and frustrated his instructors. The journey to the Outer Rim took 6 days. During hyperspace, transit, Marcus studied the enemy fleet compositions, tactical assessments, and battle plans until his unenhanced eyes burned. The Zephyrians had been winning this war for 2 years, their adaptive AI systems learning and countering every human strategy with devastating efficiency. When they dropped out of hyperspace near the contested Kepler 442 system, the scope of the enemy force became clear. 300 Zephyrian dreadnoughts hung in perfect formation around the gas giant, their crystalline hulls refracting starlight into prismatic displays of alien beauty and technological superiority. The human fleet numbered barely 100 ships. "All units, commence attack pattern Delta 7, Admiral Corvanus commanded. "Remember, the fate of humanity rests on this engagement." The battle began with the fury of dying stars. Enhanced pilots in their state-of-the-art fighters screamed past Zephyrian interceptors, their neural implants processing combat data at superhuman speeds. The main fleet engaged in precise formations, each move calculated by quantum computers and executed with mechanical precision. For 20 minutes, it seemed the human forces might achieve victory through sheer determination and superior tactics. Then the Zephyrian AI adapted, as it always did. Human attack patterns became predictable. Enhanced reflexes met with countermeasures designed specifically to exploit cybernetic delays. The alien fleet began systematically dismantling the human formation with cold efficiency. Strike Team 7 watched from the periphery as their comrades fell. Captain Rodriguez's face grew pale as she received casualty reports. 60%. Losses in the first hour. The flagship Endeavour listing with critical damage. Admiral Corvanus himself reported missing after his command bridge took a direct hit. "Sir," Rodriguez's tactical officer reported, "we're receiving new orders. All remaining units are to attempt ramming attacks on the enemy command ship. A suicide run." Marcus understood immediately. The war was lost, and command wanted to take as many Zephyrians as possible down with them. "Wait," Marcus said quietly. Rodriguez spun toward him. "Cadet, this is not the time for—" "The AI is adapting to our enhanced soldiers and quantum computers," Marcus continued, his voice growing stronger. "But it's optimizing against augmented human capabilities. What if we used unaugmented tactics?" That's insane. You can't compete with enhanced reflexes, and I'm not trying to compete. I'm trying to be unpredictable. Marcus moved to the tactical display. His hands dancing across controls his classmates would have dismissed as primitive. Look at their response patterns. Every adaptation is based on the assumption that we'll act optimally, that we'll use our enhancements to their fullest potential. He highlighted enemy formations on the screen. But what if we acted human? What if we made the mistakes that flesh and blood naturally makes? The hesitations, the emotional decisions, the split-second choices that no amount of programming can predict because they're fundamentally irrational? Rodriguez stared at the display, her enhanced cognition processing his proposal. You want us to deliberately fight poorly? I want us to fight like humans, like our ancestors did before we tried to become machines ourselves. For a moment, the bridge was silent except for the distant explosions of dying ships. Then Rodriguez's eyes widened as she understood. The AI can't predict chaos. It can't adapt to tactics that have no logical pattern. Marcus nodded. It's been winning because we've been fighting like computers trying to outcompute a computer. But humans won every war in our history through intuition, desperation, and pure bloody-minded stubbornness. The captain turned to her crew. All stations, disable enhancement protocols, switch to manual controls. We're going in like our great-grandparents would have, flying by the seat of our pants and making it up as we go. Strike Team 7 broke formation and dove toward the enemy fleet in a pattern that would have horrified every tactical instructor in the academy. They jinked and weaved without purpose, changed targets mid-approach, and made decisions based on nothing more than gut instinct. The Zephyrian response was immediate and telling: confusion. Their adaptive algorithms stumbled over the illogical human behavior, trying to find patterns in chaos, predict strategies that existed only in the moment of their creation. Marcus found himself at the helm of a fighter, his unenhanced reflexes, somehow keeping pace with alien interceptors that couldn't anticipate his next move because he didn't know it himself. He followed instincts honed by evolution rather than engineering, making choices that felt right rather than calculated optimal outcomes. Other human survivors began to notice. Enhanced pilots disabled their neural links and fought on pure instinct. Capital ships abandoned formation algorithms for the creativity of human commanders. What had been a rout became a melee. And in the chaos of pure human unpredictability, the tide began to turn. The Zephyrian command ship, designed to process and counter logical tactical movements, found itself helpless against the beautiful madness of humanity unleashed. Marcus, following nothing but instinct and desperation, managed to slip through its defenses and deliver the killing blow that crippled its control systems. As the alien fleet scattered in disarray, Admiral Corvanus, injured but alive, sent a fleet-wide transmission. Sometimes the best technology is the one we were born with. All units, remember this day. Remember that we are human, and that is our greatest strength. Marcus floated in his damaged fighter, watching the enemy retreat, and smiled. He had been the last cadet picked because he refused to become something more than human. Today he had proven that sometimes being merely human was exactly enough.